morning, and if you read the title of the video, you know we're going to be doing a double CGC unboxing today for signing events. The two signing events that these books are from would be from the John Romita Jr. signing event and the Jim Lee signing event. And although these books came in months apart, and they were sent in months apart, they actually came back on the same day. Now, the John Romita Jr. signing was done, I can't remember, months ago, but the books were sent in, I want to say roughly in June, so it was, I think I calculated the days at like almost 150 business days to get the return, which, you know, quite a bit. And then the Jim Lee books that I sent in, which I covered in a previous video, they took right around 120 days. So a long time for these to come back, and I mean a long time. So it wasn't a quick turnaround by any stretch of the imagination. I've got a little display rack this time around. Let me put something to prop it up so you can see the books a little bit more clearly. Alright, so that should help a bit. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, let's get into it. So, when you do a signature event and there's only a couple of books, which this is the first time I've only done two, they come back in a box like this. So this is really cool. This is actually going to be excellent for sending in books for events. So I'm definitely going to be keeping these. So I don't know which one this is, nor did I check any of the grades. Now, the Jim Lee books, X-Men 268 and X-Men number 4. So X-Men number 4, the first appearance of Omega Red. And for the John Romita Jr. signing, I sent in 2 copies of Amazing Spider-Man 238, which is the first appearance of Hobgoblin. It's also a unique book in the sense that it has tattoos in it, which were a free giveaway. So a lot of those tattoos got removed, which is why you see a lot of qualified issues or copies of 238. So if you have one that's qualified, you can get it for, you know, obviously a cheaper amount, but it still counts as incomplete because it doesn't have a giveaway item in it. So, yeah. Now, one of those books is from my personal collection, which is the higher graded one. The lower graded one I actually got in a collection that I purchased about 10 years ago. And I've been sitting on these for a while, and I had missed the John Romita Jr.'s previous signing event. So I was really glad that he came back so that I could get those 2 books signed. Which, honestly, he has such a long history with Marvel Comics, actually in the industry, that it was kind of tough at first to decide, but I looked down the long road and thought, well, which books do I really want him to sign? And I always really liked the Hobgoblin, so I decided, you know what, that's the book I'm going to send in. Okay, so this is interesting. I thought this had an interior holder that would slide out, but it actually doesn't. So I have to do a little bit more cutting with my razor knife, which is unfortunate because I would really, really like to keep this box intact as much as possible for future use. Alright, so we're going to pull these books out. Okay, so we're going to set this aside. That's a fantastically cool book, or box. Let's see which one this is. Okay, so this is going to be the Amazing Spider-Man 238, signed by John Romita Jr. Alright, so I'm going to try not to... Okay, so we're going to flip these over. Alright, there's bubble wrap. Collectible series, something or other. I don't know. Alright. So, let's see what we can see. So we're going to pull these out. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to look for, see if I can tell which one is the lower grade copy. And I am going to try not to see the grade. Okay. So, all right. So this is signed. It's also got the Hobgoblin label. You can see that. Okay, so this is a 5.5. So this is the lower graded one, and really it's a solid 5.5. It actually has quite a few defects in it. You can see it's got a lot of spine ticks. It's still a beautiful book. This was signed by John Romita Jr. on October 27th. So, I mean, this is January 12th. These came in yesterday. So, yeah. Alright. Then, we're going to have the other one. Alright, now this one is from my PC. This is the one that I bought. I think I was 15 when this book came out. Okay. So this is a really, really nice copy. I was thinking this book might come back a 9.2 to a 9.4, but it was pressed by CCS. And what do we get? Wow, we got a 9.6. A 9.6. I'm really happy with that. I can see a spine tick, a single spine tick, which is probably what kept it. Has white pages. John Romita Jr.'s signature isn't anything special. Like, he doesn't have some flamboyant signature. He just John Romita Jr. You can kind of see it right there. So this is a major key. Well, not a major key. This is a key issue for Amazing Spider-Man fans. And if you're a fan of the Hobgoblin, this is definitely a book you want to get. So I'm really, really happy with this. And this is going to stay in my PC. I've had this book. This actually came out in March of 1983. So I was 14. So, yeah. Really happy to have that book. I'll put it right up here. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised by that grade. I didn't expect it to come back that high. I'm certainly pleased, but I didn't expect it to. I thought it was going to be more in the 9.2 to 9.4 range. Alright, so that means that these are the two Jim Lee books. So, first appearance of Omega Red, and the classic Jim Lee cover that has the Black Widow, Wolverine, and Captain America on it. This is the X-Men 268 is from my PC, but I want to say like 10 copies of X-Men number 4. I happen to be in my early 20s when that book was published, and honestly, there's, I don't know, what X-Men number 1 featuring Jim Lee had to have like one of the largest print runs in history, other than the death of Superman. So there's a million of them out there. I mean, I probably have 15 or 20 copies with the various covers. So it's not, in my opinion, it's not anything super special to write home about. It's still a nice book, and it's nice to have in your collection. But because of the print run on that book, like I said, I don't think it's anything to write home about. Now, the X-Men 268 for me is actually a lot harder to get. In getting it in high grade, even raw, is going to set you back a bit of money. Maybe not as much as it used to. I mean, you might be able to find some decent deals. It's not exactly a highly sought after book in my opinion. I think 266 obviously is going to be way more sought after. Okay, so we got these books. I don't know which is which, so we're going to pull them out. We're going to take a look. Now, the X-Men number 4 that's on here was a 9.6 reject. So, when this went in for the signing event, CCS pressed it. I'm hoping that, like I said, I don't know which book this is at the moment, but let's see which one we got. Okay, so this is the X-Men 268. Signed by Jim Lee, signed right at the bottom. Okay, so I was hoping this book would come back between a 9.4 and a 9.6. That was what I was really hoping for. I don't have another copy of this book, and this is the one that I bought a long time ago. I mean, this is a newsstand edition too. So, what do we got? We got an 8.5. Wow. I'm really surprised that this got such a low grade. I really thought it was going to come back higher, so I'll have to check the grading notes. It's very, very rare that I'm off on a book this much. Usually I'm fairly spot on. This was signed on November 1st. White pages, 8.5. So I do see a couple of spine ticks on it. But yeah, I'll have to check the grader's notes and see what they say. But it's still in my collection, at least for now. Maybe I'll just try and hunt down another copy. Alright. Okay, and the next one is going to be X-Men number 4 with the first appearance of Omega Red. So again, this was a 9.6 or 9.8 reject. So hopefully this comes back at least a 9.6. This was part of a big submission that I did last year. Okay. Let's take a look. 9.6. Okay, 9.6 first appearance of Omega Red. It looks like a little piece of the label is sticking down, which is unfortunate. I would have hoped that quality control would have caught on to that before it got shipped out. So first appearance of Omega Red, signed by Jim Lee at a 9.6. Still a really nice book. I'm sad that it didn't get the 9.8, but I mean, this was published in 1992, and as much as we all love the 9.8s, got to admit that this book is now 30 years old, and probably, you know, a big chunk of the viewers watching this aren't even 30 years old. So this is a really old book. Classic cover, and again, the introduction of a great villain that hasn't even been introduced in the MCU yet. So after he does, this book I think is gonna gain a lot of steam. One of the big benefits of this book is that it's not X-Men number 1, and I think one of the reasons why that's a huge benefit is that after the first issue, the print run dropped fairly low because they published so many covers of the first issue. So in any event, we've got some really awesome books that came back. Again, I'm kind of disappointed with the X-Men 268, but I didn't expect the 9.6 coming back on the Amazing Spider-Man 238, so I'm super happy about that. And again, this is a fantastic book. It's going to be for my PC, so it's not going anywhere. It's definitely going to stay with me. So I want to thank everybody for sticking around and watching the video. Like, comment, subscribe down below if you would like.